Today I'm headed to a barrio up in the hills. Some would call it a slum, an expression that I don't particularly like, to a place called Comuna 13, or Community 13, where not terribly long ago, outsiders wouldn't dare enter. 10 years ago, if you were to have come to Medellin and asked a cab driver, take me to Comuna 13, in all likelihood that cab driver would have told you, go find another cab. But flash forward, and in 2019, the last pre-pandemic year, there were more people, tourists if you will, who visited Comuna 13 than visited Cartagena. More than 3 million. A true transformation and a one-of-a-kind destination if you're in Medellin.
3, 2, 1, good afternoon!
This neighborhood was completely cut off from the rest of the city. In order to get here, one had to climb stairs, the equivalent of 28 stories. As I proceed farther up the hill in the barrio, I'm about to step on something most unusual, and that is an escalator, one of many. It was built here about 10 to 12 years ago. Quite amazing. How many places in the world can you name where the city builds escalators in poor neighborhoods? If you know of another one, let me know. The escalators were a game changer for Comuna 13. Not just physically or transportation-wise, because it made it possible for people to go up and down these steep hills in a poverty-stricken area, but because it opened this community up to the rest of Medellin, and it completely changed the social dynamic here. Now there are still plenty of crime here. There's plenty of drug trafficking. In fact, Comuna 13 is one of the key entry points for cocaine entering Medellin from the hills, directly from suppliers. But it is nothing like the kind of gang warfare that existed in this community for years. That has been replaced largely because of the forward-looking infrastructure that Medellin invested in to shake up the dynamic here and to give people an opportunity to do something else. And as you can tell around me, Despite this being a real neighborhood, it is a locus of tourism.
The gangs, they still all over the area right now. It's just that for all of the money that this is making out for the government, the gangs, they cannot be working the same way that they were doing before. Because guys, for everything you bought over here, the government gets taxes. For the money I make on this tour and after I spend, the government is also going to get taxes, okay? So for that reason, the gangs, they are like basically working different. They are not doing the same things that they were doing before. Because guys, as I also told you, we grew up with the gangs, so we know who they are, we know how they look, we know where they walk around, and also the cops do, because they have fight against these people before. But before, guys, there used to be shootings all the time. So one day, a little kid, his name was Sergio, he was playing over here when the slides didn't exist. He was just like a plane on the ground. When the gangs started a shooting, one straight bullet hit this little kid, okay, and he died over there, okay. The government, they built those slides as a memorial for this kid. The name of this place, guys, is Sergio Memorial Park. The little kid who died, his name was Sergio. He was 9 years old and he died in 2011.
I suppose you remember some tough times here as a child before things changed, right?
Yes, for me as a kid and for the rest of the community, it was kind of difficult because we couldn't feel safe any time, because there used to be shootings all the time, so we never knew when it was going to happen.
And I think I heard you say you had family who were killed on both sides of the conflict here.
Yes, two uncles they were in the military service, they got killed by the guerrillas, and one of my cousins was part of the gangs, and he died for that reason.
Must have been tough on your family.
Yes, for my family it was tough, also for me, because my cousin was a really close friend to me, but also that was kind of important for me to decide not to go in that kind of things.
How would you compare it now to the way it was 10 years ago, for example? Are people optimistic?
Yes, everyone is really optimistic about the tourism. Everyone thinks that it is going to change our life, and it is already changing 100 of lives over here. But the people, they also live in a really tough environment, so they might still having that tough character or tough thoughts sometimes.
Hola, bienvenidos.
Que tengo la rima entonces, yo me enojo. Imaginen la tóxica lo hizo poner también de rojo. Vengan chicas con los chistes, por gusto y por gran placer.
going to change our life, and it is already changing hundreds of lives over here. But the people, they also live in a really tough environment, so they might still having like that tough character or tough thoughts sometimes.
Yeah.
Thank you.